I'm a nurse, and one thing I can tell you is that sick people tend to have the same two things in common, and that is lifestyle and perception. And I'll explain that, but first let me tell you the things I did to heal my body instead of relying solely on pharmaceuticals. You'd be surprised how simple healing could be. But the American way of life has removed us from all these free and natural resources. Number one is sunlight. Sunlight regulates your vitamin D levels, which regulates your immune system. Even to the point where low vitamin D can actually cause BV in women, and a lot of people don't even know that, but it's necessary to regulate your vaginal microbiome. Sunlight quite literally makes you happy, and it wards off immune disorders, sickness, disease, autoimmune stuff, all of that. Number two, I say sitting outside. I sit outside all the time, and whenever I was travel nursing, I would love it when I got a hotel room with a window I could actually open. That always made me so happy, and I didn't know why. So I did a little research and come to find out trees actually give off a scent that lowers your cortisol levels and also regulates your stress response and your immune response. So just being outside close to trees and being able to smell trees actually heals you. Number three, I say grounding. Grounding is literally free. All you got to do is walk barefoot. Take your shoes off and walk out on the grass, in the dirt. The earth has some sort of electromagnetic field that pulses, and as long as we are in contact with it, it heals us. Now, if you're not able to put your feet on grass, like if you live in a city or something like that, they do have grounding mats, which I slept on one for a year to help heal my shoulder from where it was like torn and stuff, and between that and CBD, it did work. But the impulses the earth gives off actually heals our plasma, so much so that they did research, and I want to say either the UK or Europe somewhere, that they put babies, NICU babies, who are having issues on grounding mats, and they had way better outcomes. So this has been proven, but yet we're not using them in our system, in our healthcare system here in the States. You tell, I don't know why, but it works. The research has proven that it works, and yet most of us don't use it, and it's completely free. But grounding, just walking barefoot. Number four, I say your gut microbiome, the second brain, the gut-brain axis. Balancing your gut and making sure you have a probiotic-rich diet is a major key. Well, literally, again, like your neurotransmitters are actually produced in your gut, like serotonin and things like that. Things your brain needs to regulate and function properly are produced in your gut. So why would you not take care of it? There's a lot of disorders and issues that are caused by gut imbalances, to the point where they were able to put a certain bacteria in lab rats to induce schizophrenia in them. So if that don't tell you how important the gut is, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of autoimmune issues and disorders, mood issues, all originate in the gut just from eating processed foods, sugary foods, foods that are grown with pesticides. So just balancing your gut and doing a good little, cleanse and detox will change your whole outlook, and you'll be feeling like a completely different person. So eating probiotic rich foods like kimchi, kombucha, however you say it, even if you have to take the supplement, probiotics, just making sure your gut is balanced and healthy. Number five, I would say fiber, especially for women. Like having enough fiber in your diet, again, not only balances your gut, but also makes your digestive process proper. And for women especially, like I said, it balances our hormones. So the fiber is what will get rid of excessive hormones, like hormonal imbalances. And yet most of us, especially in the States, don't eat high fiber diets. We eat a whole lot of meat. Like if you've ever traveled out the country, Americans eat unusual proportions of meat with their food. Unusual portions, because our plates are so large, but also we eat an unusual amount of meat. So just eating more fiber, especially greens like spinach, collard greens, beans like pinto beans, black eyed peas, is a major key. You will be surprised how many issues are caused by just you not having enough fiber. Again, balance your hormones. A lot of people who have PCOS and hormonal imbalances really just need more fiber in their diet and less sugar, because the sugar is inflammatory and causes your periods to be really, really rough. I learned that if I eat proper throughout the month, my periods are so easy and practically painless. And I say last, just being balanced, bro. Just making sure you get enough protein. Like I shoot for 40 grams a day because of my weight. There's a formula that tells you how much you need based on your weight. I advise you check that out. And just get enough protein, whether you do that through meat or you do it through vegan sources, whatever you're into. Balancing your protein with, again, a well-rounded plate. I used to count calories and count carbs and all that type of stuff until the point where I could pretty much eyeball a plate and know just about how much protein it is and if it's enough carbs. But I try to do the rainbow plate method, which means I want to make sure I got 40 grams of protein and then something green on the plate and then something that is a carb. So that might look like, you know, grilled chicken and then broccoli and mashed potatoes, or a piece of cod and then say like rice and spinach. Just make sure that there's something green there and there's something with some carbs to balance out the meat, because I accidentally went into keto one time, and yeah, that it wasn't my plan or my intention. So those are my 5 tips, major keys. They seem simple and a lot of people don't believe in them, but man, it was life-changing for me. Also, I'm gonna add one more in: eating organic. I went through a process to healing my gut because I had developed like allergies and sinus congestion, and I would break out in hives and stuff all the time. And I just decided that I needed to heal my gut, so I started taking supplements like glutamine and increasing my protein intake, and I went organic, and I saw a huge improvement by the 6-month mark. By the 1.5-year mark, I felt like a whole new person, had a whole new quality of life. I mean, I stand by this, you know, even though people say, oh, there's no point in eating organic because the food in America is this, or they don't da-da-da-da. But irregardless, you still have to try. And I was willing to try and put forth the effort, and it paid off because I got my quality of life back. I got my health back. I feel amazing. So, yeah, eating organic is another major one. I know it's costly, but, you know, you got to decide what your priorities are. If you can do without the hair and the nails, or you can do without, you know, buying video games, or you can do without gambling, or whatever your pastime or, you know, hobby is, if you can just cut back on it a little bit in exchange for being able to buy organic food, it's definitely worth it because you will feel amazing. Watch your energy levels shoot through the roof, and watch you just gain mental clarity. Lastly, I'll say the things that I see the most sick patients have in common, again, is their lifestyle and their perception. By lifestyle, I mean most sick people have both hypertension and high blood sugar. So they eat a lot of sugar, a lot of processed foods, and they're very sedentary. They don't work out, and they usually have the mentality of, well, we all got to die someday, so it doesn't matter, which I don't subscribe to that, because I feel like we are going to die, yes, but your quality of life matters. Like, are you going to spend the last years of your life up, walking around, spending time with your family? You're going to spend the last years of your life bedbound and immobilized, right? Sitting in a dark room. So, you know, it does matter, but I would say their perception a lot of times and their outlook on life is very negative, and it's very dark, and they're very, what I notice a lot of times is they struggle with control, like trying to control other people, which usually is a sign that you can't control yourself, right? If you can't control your diet, you can't control your cravings, you can't control your mood, then of course you go try to control all the people around you. They usually burn all the bridges with their family, and then they end up being frequent flyers in a hospital. This is an unpopular opinion. I know it's going to piss people off, but this is the truth of what I've seen. So I say that to say that your mental health, your perception, your outlook on life makes a huge impact on your actual physical health. The two cannot be separated. If you have a certain mentality about you, you are almost undoubtedly going to end up being extremely sick all the time, or should I say chronically ill. So it matters, like how you think, what you think about the world, what you think about people, 100% affects your physical health. And again, that's a whole nother topic, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But what they have in common is a sedentary lifestyle with processed foods, sugary foods, and a very dark perception of like human beings and life in general. And I don't say this to hag on like, oh, well, not all people who are sick are negative. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I see a common denominator in chronically ill people is a lot of times they have that outlook. Now, maybe they got sick and then they turn negative. But, you know, from what I see, I'm just telling you what they have in common. So do with that information what you will.